Apparently we're live. As far as my OBS is suggesting. So I think we're here. We're good. Just refresh this. Intriguing. Alright, who knows? Whatever. So we were doing pros and cons of various decisions for the spawning side of the game. Starting locations. I suppose it makes sense to keep it like that. That's weird. Twitch stats don't seem to think that I'm streaming currently. Let me just check. I think the dock is a little hit and miss, but I seem to be live. Yeah, live for a minute. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Maybe it only goes on a minute basis. That would make sense. Yeah, okay, that's why. Right, so we have a few more things to fill in. I had some cool ideas. I think I saved this to the cloud as well, probably. Right, so this spawning, finish off the starting items, right? I just need to get through this, I think. So, I need like a straw, you know, it just goes just over here or something. Okay, so light is kind of fundamental, because, you know, can see in the dark. So probably something people will be wanting. I can't think of any cons to starting with light. It's fundamentally, you can turn it on or off. That's fine. I think that's every survival game I've played, you kind of need light when you start. Otherwise, you just, if you spawn at a bad time of day, you're screwed. So there's never any reason not to. Okay, that's annoying. Can you go normal? There we go. Right. So that's something fine, guarantee. So close. This is like storage stuff, right? So, basic item, storage, maybe slash temperature resistance. So it's another one. It's gonna be another one of those bad spelling typing days. Right, temperature. How? Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right. So cons. Anything I can think of is players might not have search. Close. Only it's not much of a consideration. It's not the worst thing in the world. So, I mean, it's just players you start with will be limited, or will have limited storage slash durability, forcing the player to find new ones. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Oh, this should be resistance. And then backpack. So good item storage. The cons are player would start with too much storage. Start with, and if I were to do this, the mitigation for that would probably be the same. something like this. So backpack will have limited storage. Should be played by news. Okay, cool. So like, I mean, in Rust, you have just backpacks, so clothes don't constitute storage. But Daisy, Deadside, and Scum, all of the clothes you find have like storage slots. Daisy's pretty intense with that. You get ridiculous amounts of storage from certain items. Just run around wearing like a jeans and a jacket, and suddenly you can store a chainsaw somehow. I mean, it's just an interesting way of working. Because in Rust, all items, it's not like a grid-based system. It is a grid system, but it's not a shaped item grid system. And Deadside, you can only carry guns, and then only certain backpacks can carry certain guns. So you can't store guns in the early stages, you can just have them. And then they have every item is a one slot in the storage up to their stack size. So it's like an in between. So you've got like Daisy's like the extreme shape based inventory, square in a grid or a weird angled shape, rectangles and things. And then like Rust is the other extreme where it's like you can store a water container that would be the size of like a small trailer or something in your backpack. So swings and roundabouts. So I need to consider item storage at some point. I think I like the idea that you carry you, rather than carrying things or like building components, you carry the resources to produce them. I prefer that, I think. Yeah. Let's just cover that briefly. Have I got a section for that? I mean, that's kind of like loot, right? Spawning, item rarity, item quantity. Let's just call this items. And like, so, item storage. So like, do items have a shape that occupies multiple grid slots in inventory? Item weight. Do items influence movement speed? Wow, that was movement speed / max carry. I the weight of the sorry. Let's change that to container. Container's a bit more generic. So there's item weight, grid based. So item restrictions. That was weird. Item restrictions. Only certain items be stored in certain containers. Cool, so there's some things to consider. And like if I was Let's just do the usual because it's easy. Just copy that, shove that in down here. Okay, cool. Right, so this would be grid-based storage, or that's not quite what I'm thinking. Let's call it shape-based. I know what I'm talking about. So what pros are there to this? This is a weird concept. So what's the advantage of enforcing shaped-based storage systems? Oh, thanks for the follow. I'll try and figure this out. How do you do this? So I've got like you've got a grid and you've got an item and it occupies a certain amount of space. I suppose so, like you want to limit somebody's ability to carry too much good stuff. Right. So why so like weight is an obvious thing. Oh hey, that's pretty cool. Uh my day's going pretty good so far, I think. Um, actually, give me a point. Can I put on? I forget. Can I put Twitch chat coming up on here? I've been able to do it before. Yeah. What kind of stuff do you make? Make source available. I'm not sure how to do that. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, no, I mean, wait, can I just pull this? Ah, I can just put that there. Aha. That would do. Hopefully, oh no, it doesn't. Damn it. I'll have to figure this out at some point. I know there's a probably a better means of doing this. Is there an always on top? Ba, 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 ba. Currently I am streaming because if I don't, I won't do certain things. Um, like I probably what I'm doing now is a long, arduous process that will take a significant amount of time and effort. And if I'm just sat here talking to myself, I think I'll go mad. Well, madder. Uh, so yeah, that's where we are with it. And I'll just look this up real quick because it's probably a really simple thing. I used to have so add uh, Twitch to OBS, launch open to a stream. So yeah, that's hit the pop out, copy the URL, open the browser. I suppose it'd be browser. Yeah. What do you want to know? Ah, browser. Ooh, I didn't know I could do this. Pop out chat. Does this work? Browser. Oh goodness me. Oh, that's cool. Right. Sorry, I need to adjust this. I mean, yeah, I'm happy to have a look. Um, that's probably a bit more than what I was hoping for, but now I don't think anyone can read that really. I swear there's a better means of doing this. I mean, let me do this. See that I can just go straight to you. Oh, do you have? Oh, okay, fair enough. I thought you. Oh, that's interesting. An apple. Oh, okay, right, cool. I don't really use stuff like that, unfortunately. I'm not that kind of person. Is there a means of blending moon transition? Hmm. Because yeah, I like. How do other people do this? Oh, why have I pinned her? Oh, okay, that's weird. Sorry, right, I got mildly distracted for a moment. That's probably not what I'm hoping to achieve with this. And nobody can really see it, so there's got to be a better means of doing this. Add widgets. Maybe not. It just looks a bit too overkill to me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't really use things like Instagram. Sorry, I'm spending all my time trying to figure out how to get chat to appear on the screen, but I mean, it's there, it just looks terrible. Can people even read that? Not really. I do. I think my Discord is linked to my on my stream, I believe. I don't know. It's gonna be too much. Let's just hide this or no, let's delete it. Yeah. Can I just not show it? There we go. I'll just leave that. Um. Right. Sorry, I'm very easily distracted, but that was probably a worthy distraction, nevertheless. I thought as much. Um. Yeah. All right. Why decision shape-based storage? Yeah, okay. So, the shape-based storage stuff. So there's like insert below. There's that, and then there's like slot-based storage and weight-based, right? So if we assume these are each a different concept, then we can figure out the pros and cons of doing them, I suppose. So for shape-based storage, pros, item limits are more about sort of Yeah, physical occupied. Oh god, physical space. Let's, occupied. This means the items are possibly more realistic. Immediate cons for this stuff. I don't actually have Discord running at the moment, by the way. But I'll probably see it when I stop doing this at some point. I really need to figure that out at some point. Right. So yeah, the makes inventory annoying, especially for tick. Yeah, trying to create a sorting algorithm for inventories that are shape based are a little absurd. If I accidentally move, oh, that's why it's over there. I can't really think of a means of avoiding that. It's inherently problematic having shape-based storage. Like, what do you do? Just make most items small slash occupy straight lines or basic squares. Because I mean, you got games like bloody Backpack Hero and stuff, which exclusively shape based. Yeah, that's what. Just trying to find a good example. God, they've got some crazy stuff going now. So like, you know, you got Backpack Heroes with that's not what I wanted to do. Items go in your storage and they occupy different grids, and where you place them in, they interact differently with each other and stuff. So that's like conceptually interesting, but in terms of the game I'm making, it's just like a what difference does it make? So I suppose in Deadside, because it's just a slot-based system, if you have like a storage chest, you can basically just occupy every single space with a gun, which is mad. And like, so then you end up with like a situation where you've got a box, a physical container, and it's got the equivalent of like a room's armory inside it. And so, like, realistically, it's impractical. It would never work, but it's a game and it's just a slot in an inventory. Do I care? Probably not. I'm less interested in that level of realism, I think. I think that's more problematic than it's worth. Possibly. Yeah, it's a bit much. Um. Oh, it's a link invalid. That's weird. And I'll actually fix the link because that's more pressing. Um. Edit invite link. Days never generate a new link. Copy. Might have been because it was set to expire, which I shouldn't do, but edit. Is that not edit panels? I mean, my Discord link seems to like it's found me on there, and I'm not sure about my link actual link. I'm not sure where that's ended up. How do I find that? There's way too many things going on here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Connections, not connections, channels. Here we go. Right. Oh, it's generated the same thing. Okay, well, I'm not sure why that isn't working. That bit there. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that hasn't come up for me for some reason, so I'm not sure. If I go back to me. Yeah. Okay. Don't know. Do not know. Yeah, I'm not sure why you haven't come through one way or the other, but I mean, it's all there. You seem to be in my server anyway, so who knows? Right. Okay, so the pros of a slot-based storage are easy to manage. All items are treated equally. Containers can be less limitations on grids. So the cons of this, what are the cons of this? So items that are larger can be stored in places that are realistic. um oh items of a weight can be carried in quantities without issue. Okay. I just need to stop briefly. Right. So let's think about this. So, I guess, so this only really matters. So the unrealistic storage of items only really matters with, very large items. Don't let people don't let people store buildings or vehicles inside a storage chest. Which is it's kind of funny because in Ark Survival Evolved you literally stored dinosaurs in your inventory. So, you know, from a unreal I mean the whole game's the aliens abducting and dinosaurs, so I suppose the whole thing's a bit unrealistic, but it's an interesting concept. Are there other games where you can do that? There's a few where you can store like an entire bicycle. Oh, 7 Days to Die, you can store like helicopters and stuff in your inventory. It's the sort of thing you'd want to put like a blueprint down and then you add items to it and it produces it. I suppose the game wasn't really built with that kind of stuff in mind. It doesn't really matter. So I think once you put them down, you can't pick them back up. I think bikes you can, helicopters and cars I don't think you can. There's probably a mod for it, but standardly I don't think you can anyway. So the second one, item weight. Yeah, so this is another interesting one. So most games don't do inventory weight very well. The more realistic ones do. So like Tarkov and stuff takes into account a lot. Because you kind of like drop your backpack to move faster in combat and pick it up again. Which is quite a cool concept. I like the idea of a sort of a more dynamic inventory storage system. Because what game? Outward, I think. Is it Outward? Outbound? Outward. Let me just find it because it's really cool. Let's put game just to clarify. Yeah, so pretty cool RPG. Typical stuff, and you run around, explore the landscape and things. And your backpack's quite fundamental. So you'll like explore an area. And if you're just doing like exploration for the sake of exploration, you'll have like a medium tier backpack, and maybe it will be like this one, like with a lantern on the back, or it slows down your water consumption, or you know, some variety of thing. But sometimes you'll have one and you'll like occupy, like these get a bit cumbersome. And so when you're in combat, you can't really like roll around with them. So you need to drop them just as you go in. And if you die, you then aren't losing all of your stuff. I mean, you still have to like go and pick the things up, but you can like practically drop them elsewhere. I suppose so in other games, I'm just going to add this to here because I think it's quite cool. Just before I forget, because I will. So backpack can be dropped, and then there's the other side where it's can create a temporary, which is probably the worst spelling of temporary. Can create a temporary storage hidden in the ground. So we've got all that sorted. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's cool. All right. Yeah. So I'll think about these soon. Huh. Interesting. Why? How is that possible? How odd. Okay. Right. So, items of weight can be carried. Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about weight. So it's like if I were to have a weight-based storage, so I could do a combination of things, right? I could do all of them, or two of them, or one of them. And I do think weight should matter because I don't want people to run around freely whilst carrying a lot of stuff. I think it's a bit game breaking because there's like the risk initially is you take a minimum amount of stuff and then you come back with an amount of stuff. So if we're in like Deadside, maybe you don't take a secondary weapon so that you can pick a new gun off of an AI that you kill. And now you've gained a weapon, but you've sacrificed the slot initially. So if you bring the wrong weapon initially, then you could lose out in a situation you would have otherwise survived. So there's a thought. Daisy, I think, has the same premise. So you've got hand slots, but they need to fit into storage containers. And then if you have in Rust, so Rust, you can just carry like an armory. And it's like if you don't have weight limitations, then people will be running around with like Rust has a resource inflation problem, I believe, which we'll come on to whenever I decide to do the resources side of this. But like, you know, you'll literally be carrying around the equivalent of an entire base in your inventory, and it just means that people who go unchallenged or who survive have absolutely free reign to just like take all of the things they can carry and leave with them. And I feel like it doesn't create an interesting enough environment because when you're in like Tarkov, Daisy, and Deadside, you can easily spend a couple hours Like, particularly in Deadside, with the amount of corpses, like the duration that bodies are left on the floor is quite long. It's like 20, 30 minutes or something. And if you have a base close to where you've been fighting, it's reasonable to be able to bring a lot of stuff, set up like a temporary chest or a storage container somewhere, and then you walk all the way out, you do the combat and kill all of the AI, take what you can, and then you go back to the storage, drop everything, just empty your inventory. Maybe you take a pistol or something just in case. And then you go back and you scavenge all the corpses again, and then you go back to the chest, and then you do it again, and then you inevitably end up in a situation where you then got to go from this chest to your base, so you do the same thing. And it's like it feels like you have to make a conscious decision of what's valuable to you at the time. And when PvP's involved, one of the problems I find with Rust is like people shoot each other, and there's this idea of kits, right? So you've got a set of items that constitutes a kit. So it's like gun, meds, armor, ammo, uh, melee weapon or something, ordnance and things. And so you end up like kit trading, which is where you fight, somebody dies, and that person goes and gathers the person they've killed stuff. Then maybe they get ambushed by somebody else. And now you've got two people's worth of stuff on one person. So yeah, this person goes along, and now you've got three people's worth of stuff on this person. But then maybe they couldn't carry everything, and both these people come back. And then this guy's got a kit, this guy's got another kit. And he kills this guy, he kills this guy, and then this guy now has 5 people's worth of kits. And it just goes on and on and on. And the problem is you end up in a situation where people like come along to the fight with like nothing. Ratting is usually what they call it. Now you'll go up, maybe you won't even kill someone, and you'll just walk up and steal all of the loot on all the bodies. But the problem is because you can steal most things in Rust, this guy can only really ever pick up maybe a weapon, a bit of ammo, and at best maybe some meds and some crappy clothes. And it just doesn't feel very worthwhile. And like, I think it's much more interesting to limit the interaction of like these kit tradings where the people bring stuff, and if they bring a full inventory, they then can't take another full inventory. So you end up in a situation where like person A has come with like half an inventory, and person B comes with a full. And if A kills B, they have like a net profit. So they just take all of, or most of person B's stuff, and then they leave. As they can't carry anything else. So they just go back or store it in another place. I think that creates an interesting dynamic, because now this person who died now hasn't lost all of their stuff. They've probably lost their best stuff, but it's best relative to what the other person could carry and what they want. And so it's like a better trade-off, I think, anyway. So yeah. I do like thinking about this sort of thing. Um yeah, so uh yeah, this would be like, just don't allow our players to would Something like that. So like we're talking like vehicles and building actual buildings. Like in Rust, you just walk around with a fucking palisade in your inventory. Big wooden barrier. It's like cool. Great. It's mad. I mean it's fun and it's pretty interesting. I like seeing the you'll like go to walk past like a wall going on and you just see all of these palisades. And just the whole map just becomes all these weird angles and bullets going across from random places and bodies scattered around. It is interesting. Um, I almost wish Rust replaced them with like smoke grenades or something more temporary and a bit equally as effective. So you kind of obviously you can shoot people, but you got to see them. And just create a more interesting combat environment where you like can't see huge chunks of people moving around and stuff. um. Hmm. Yeah, I do actually need to play the games more. I played DayZ a bit yesterday. Yeah, last night. I did not get on with it. But I'll come on to that another time. So weight-based storage. So you can effectively limit its carry potential. Somewhat calculations. Um, you can effectively limit players' carry potential by using somewhat realistic weight calculations. And that was literally the only reason to do it, right? Yeah. Cons. Yeah, so the main one is balancing the weight of items can become tricky and cause issues. It's definitely something to worry about. This can so limit the player's choices too much by forcing them to be heavily limited can carry. Yeah, because it's like you're kind of taking people's freedom away a bit with this. So this could be like weights of items should be carefully considered. Um, talking with the player base when it's frequent. Be carried out. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, because that's more of a personal preference kind of thing, I think. I'd want a lot of community engagement on that statistic. Because there are a few, like, resources become a bit impractical. But I would, so, we can have vehicles and bags specialize carrying certain. So like I quite like the idea. What game does this? Oh, it's Icarus. So in Icarus, which is another survival game, I play quite a lot. Love it. You can get backpacks for specific carryable items. So like not only do they increase your inherent storage capacity, but they specifically reduce the weight requirements of certain items. So it'd be like if you're storing wood, you might have a backpack that's got like an actual metal framework on it for storing logs nicely, and then you can like assume it's got some structure that spreads the weight specifically of those around. And then like a similar one for rocks where maybe it's like bags or metal mesh nets or something to store them in, and therefore reducing the impact on your body and so on. And then equally, I could have like carts or hand pulled things like in a Valheim or something. Yeah, well, whatever. And obviously, the actual vehicles. I mean, it would be quite funny, almost in a shooting game, to have a horse-drawn cart, like in a modern game. I think that would be quite cool, actually. I'm just gonna put carts on here. Um, uh, specialized. That is not how you spell that. Oh, it's specialized backpacks. There we go. It's got Z in it apparently. Who knew I was American? um, yeah, I'll be damned. All right. So this can also limit place choices. Yeah. So, hmm. So like some items shouldn't have any real weight to them at all, and just occupy slots. Items like small meds, ammo, and basic tools could have 0 to almost no cost. That'll do. Yeah. Can't think of what else that would be useful for. Oh. Um, uh, grand, right. Okay, let's just oh yeah, I needed to put that on here as well. Item type restrictions on containers. There we go. Just another thing to consider. Can I do restart? There's like a table design thing, which is like restart heading. Why can't I select that? Huh, that's weird. Alright, who knows? Hmm. Right. I'm just. I could do this for hours. I'm not sure whether that's a problem or not. I'm probably going to run out of the ability to talk. So. Right. Let's just zero all of this, please. Oh, that's a bit overkill. Okay. maybe some margin, right? Right. Okay. That's nice. Maximum space. Yeah, I was really hoping I could do the repeated thing. Okay, whatever. Alright, probably close Discord whilst we're here. Right. How about can be dropped? Hmm. So the pros allows player to hide slash taking the weight slash bow items into a bad situation. So this is a cool concept. I mean, immediately my first reaction to this is, this will cause more objects to spawn in the world. And yeah. How would that work? More UI components, etc. More rules about spawning slash ownership for it. So I'd have to consider the I'd have to consider the actual cost in the game's performance at allowing people to drop backpacks on the floor. I mean, the way I've designed my inventory system, the data is created once in a central storage for it in a struct, and it's minimalistic. So a container has the item type, the slot position, and it would be like the quantity and like the ownership of it. Yeah, something to that effect. And then so when a player would drop a backpack, creates a new instance of an actor that would presumably spawn at the backpack's location, which would just be like Maybe I make backpacks a persistent thing and not already a separate object as you equip them. And then it's just a case of detaching it from the player, which would probably make more sense. But yeah, and then that falls on the floor, and then only when you interact with it does the UI have to actually go and query the data for it. So it would literally be a static mesh, and that would be it. Doesn't have to, maybe it'd have physics, so it could like roll downhill, maybe not. But we'll figure that one out at another point. But yeah, it'd be quite minimalistic, so yeah. But yeah, more UI, probably not actually, but I think this point stands. Do you allow people to steal stuff? Would you have any rules? Probably not. I mean, it's an open world PvP game. You drop your backpack and somebody sees it and go and take stuff. Don't know. Getting there. What's that? Oh. Should have been using this. Alright, well, there we go. That's cool. I don't need that either. Oh, right, now we can see things. Good. This might seem like a lot. It kind of is, but... Wait, what? Why isn't this? I don't think I've got any more. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna scroll up slowly now. It's all coming together. Oh, that's interesting. This is gonna be a fun one. Figuring out what resources there are. I'm gonna have to create tables after tables of item data soon. I've got an amount. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Because the resources in the game in the survival game just make and break it. You got some games where they're so inundated with variety that like you'll go to loot a place and you'll come back and you'll have like 3 things you wanted and like 100 stuff that you can't even use. And it might not even be stuff you'll ever use. Like Rust has well, Ark is actually the worst one. Ark's got something like hard to picture. It's probably in the region like 200, maybe 300 unique items. So you'll just like you'll find some stuff and then your inventory suddenly has like 12 things and you just don't need any of it. It just annoys me in games when there's too much. Deadside is reasonable. I found Scum to be a little overkill, but I think it's correctly overkill because of the nature of the game. Rust a little too much. Yeah, I think my problem is that there needs to be less items you can find and more items you can craft. I think that's where I'm going with this. So I like the separation of useful things of what you go to find, and then you use them to craft usable things. Something like that. So you don't go into a place and you find like pre-crafted hunt, like all of this, building stuff and components and things. Maybe you do in a specific location, but like you'll find, I don't know, let's call it scrap metal, wood, stone, fabric, um, yeah, that kind of stuff. I think the Division 2 is pretty good for that, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so something else to consider. Um, hmm. Yeah, okay. Okay, so could this be an object spawned but attached to the player. They only create things when opened. Objects UI. Should be almost completely public apart from in a PvE server. Yeah, so the rules are despawning and ownership and things. So ownership should be like anyone can access it. Yeah. And despawning. After. Do we even despawn them? I suppose you've got to. Because you don't just want backpacks to last forever, so. A fairly long time. Something around 45 minutes. So, like, it's an item, so it's not like something everyone's going to have. You won't always be running around with a backpack, so it shouldn't be a problem, I think. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think I'm too tired again, but I mean, we figured this stuff out, filled in a bit more things. Yeah, we did this. I probably need to do on there. Actually, let's put some to-dos in places. Yeah, there we go. I know I need to do that, but won't forget the other ones. Alright, well, that would do. I am apparently far too tired to carry on. We did have like 60-mile-an-hour winds or something. It's very hard to sleep when you can literally hear the elements outside tearing the local wildlife and trees apart. The trees are practically horizontal after a while, so that's pretty ridiculous. Oh, there we go. I really want to be able to bend my glasses better, but I'll do. Alright, whatever. That's all I've got in me, I think. Cool. Progress. Getting there. Eventually, I'll just have most subjects covered briefly. to this extent. And then I can pick these, give them a scoring, and say we're going to do this, and these are the ways we're going to deal with the problems. And then actually do it. Sit here and like write out, when the player does this, this happens, but in this situation, that, and then that gets converted into logical code, and then I have to figure out how to adequately put it in all the right places relative to each other. And like, do I make things objects, components, interfaces, and so on and so on and so on. Oh, that would be entertaining. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I feel like I would make a script or something that pulls this information apart, but collates it all into a single spreadsheet, and then I can just go from there. Maybe. Cool. Right. Well, thanks for watching. If anyone is, or I mean, Twitch stats suggest that there is, but sometimes there's not. Apparently, it's just me. So yeah, who knows? But cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around.